So I'm going to assume everybody can hear us, and I'm going to say hello to everyone and welcome, and I hope you're all feeling great and legs are feeling good and your body is most importantly warm after your a weekend in the rain and the cold and everything else. This is, the purpose of this webinar is, just kind of a quick, go through a little bit of what we've been through, and then a few little tips. I always find that post Ironman we have what we call the Ironman blues, and it's tough. You go from a season where you guys have accomplished so much. You've done everything from the start of this training where you went out for that first bike ride or for that first run, or for some of you even that first swim lesson. All the way through months and months of training and hard work and fundraising and events and other things, all the way to that ultimate moment where you cross the finish line on Sunday. And it's been an incredible journey, and incredible highs and lows and everything with it. But then you cross that finish line and you wake up the next morning and there's a little bit of, well, now what? What am I supposed to do with all this time I suddenly have? I was training and planning events, and there was all this pressure and all these thoughts going through my head, and all of a sudden there's this great big void. And it's a very real thing that we talk about with athletes all the time, which is, it's not, it's not a clinical depression, but there's a little bit of that post-race blues. And, it's important, I think as a coach, and I've always believed this, that, the race ends, but there's still a little bit of coaching that needs to be done, which is, here's some strategies and some ways to transition, a little bit back to normal life. And that's all this is just a little bit of that and a little conversation with you guys, answer any questions you had, and to kind of send you guys on your way to be normal human beings once again. So let's just run through things. This is the What Now, Look Ma, I Just Did an Ironman webinar for Smile Train. This is our last official webinar of the year. So what you did, let's go through a little quick review here. What you did, you went for a short swim with just a few close personal friends there. I see you, there you are, right there in the pink cap. We had a beautiful, sunny, rainbow-filled bike ride on the Beeline Highway. Look at that, it's picturesque right there, isn't it? That is Jennifer riding through the rainbows. So I don't know if you guys all have that same recollection of the rainbows and beautiful weather on the bike ride, but this is how I'd like you to remember it. Then you donned your garbage bags and went off for a lovely run up and down Tempe Town Lake. It was incredible, guys, and I will tell you as a coach, honestly, I have endured many a race in bad weather. This one, there was just something about it that made this one extremely challenging. So those of you that faced it and braved it, you guys know the story and you'll tell it. Congratulations, it was really well done. After running in your garbage bags, some of you proposed. So if you guys don't know this, Charles Billingsley, your teammate, proposed to his girlfriend, and she did say yes at the finish line. I was very nervous about that when he told me he was going to do this. But she did say yes, and Charles had quite the finish. And then the rest of you guys came across that finish line, and you heard those words, and you had that incredible moment. And it's amazing. I love looking through the finisher pictures, and this is why I'm such a big goofball fan of Ironman in general, which is it is incredibly hard, it is incredibly difficult, and it can be life-changing. And every single person that crossed that finish line looks like this, though. You didn't look like that at mile 22 or mile 15, certainly not on the bike. But there's something about that finish line, folks, that just brings it out. And this is one of my favorite pictures, the two Smile Train guys coming across that finish line, just thrilled, arms raised in victory. So that's just the very, very short recap of a very, very long day, and just a chance for me to say, again, congratulations to all of you guys on an incredible race day. The first step after race day is obviously you eat, drink, get warm, maybe see the midnight finishers, and then it begins, and then the thank yous begin. And it starts here with the public thank you. We use the vehicle of Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, a loud voice in a busy place. And this is simply an outpouring of deliciously sweet public thank you notes to every person that has been a part of your journey. And I mean every person that gave you a high five, every person that changed a tire, helped you, pushed you, gave a donation. They've all got the thank yous. And what is so incredibly awesome for you guys is that every time you say thank you, people tell you how awesome you are. And it's great. It's a perfect circle of as I said, deliciously sweet public love. So, you guys have done that, and this is the first step, and it's kind of an awesome feeling. It's a great practice. It's wildly approved, and, it's a great thing for our Smile Train folks as, people see how awesome your experience was, and they see you in that great kit, and they say, I'd like to be a part of that. So keep those coming. Keep reading them. Keep sending them out. It's pretty awesome stuff. The next step after the initial public thank you is the race report. And the race report is another thing that I'm a huge, huge fan. Just as a coach, I'd love to see a race report. The vehicle for the race report is Facebook, again, as always, with everything. But also a blog or an email or simply just, a letter. And this is often referred to or begun with the phrase, this is the long version, or this may take a little while. And it resembles anything from an Oscar speech mixed with the retelling of an epic battle from the 1500s, where you are battling, the hordes and the weather and the plagues. The race report is always awesome to read. It's an incredible thing to share, and it's honestly, this to me is your greatest keepsake from the race. Clothes will not fit later, colors will fade, but you will always be able to go to this race report and look back on something that you've done. And it's something that you can show your kids, that your kids can read, that your family can share, and you can go back to and read over. And I strongly recommend that you're very detail-oriented with this. And if you haven't done it, you should do it today. Write it down. You want to capture all the drama. You want to tell the story, the fun, and the friends and the people that you met. But you also, from a pure athletic standpoint, you want to capture the data. I want you to see the things that you've done. Capture the power numbers or the effort levels. What did you do in the rain? What did you eat, and how did it affect you? Because if you're going to do another one of these, this is your guidebook. This is your starting point to say, okay, these are the things that worked, these are the things that didn't work, and these are my next steps to make things happen. So I'm thrilled with race reports. I think they're an important part of the journey. And like I said, they will be something you will read again down the line. So now what? So we're kind of into that phase. We've done our public thank yous. We've started to write our race reports, I hope. But now what? It's Wednesday. The race was Sunday. Most of you guys are home or close to home, and you may be sitting at your desk again, trying to stretch a little bit or tell the story of your day, but you're back to normal life. So we start to face this situation of the post-race blues. And this is what we talk about, and this is something, like I said, this is where we want to provide a little bit of just a plan for you to follow. Not a serious plan. You don't have to jump into anything in particular, but just some thoughts on what happens next. So the post-race blues. So why does it happen? So you can go online and you can find articles about this, and this is kind of the combination of a few different articles. But essentially the deal is, you've been immersed in a daily activity focused on a singular goal, a goal that you've now achieved, and you've been focused there for 10 months, and you've established over that 10 months a rhythm to your life that included, the planning and timing of your workouts, the discussions, the conversations. All of these things have become very much a part of your life, and suddenly they're gone. The race week prep alone actually interrupts that rhythm. So what we did is we took you away from home. We took you to a new destination in Arizona, and from that day on Wednesday or Thursday, whenever you got into town, we changed your daily activities and broke that rhythm. And in the process of doing that, you started to slowly lose that grip on that bedrock of what was working for you. Even if for some of you, if it wasn't working, where it was like reached the point where you're so sick of it it was still something that was reliable because you still knew you had a bike, a run, a swim, and this and that, and you still had a destination in front of you that was part of your daily thought process. But now it's changed. So we've removed all that and that kind of comfort, that uncomfortable comfort of training for an Ironman. You top that off with the fact that you got up at 3 o'clock in the morning, ate breakfast, did an Ironman, stayed up late, and then went to bed. You probably had close to a 20 to 22 hour day on Sunday. So you're exhausted, and it's Wednesday, and to be honest with you, I haven't made up for my sleep loss yet, and I did not do an Ironman, so I'm sure you have not either. And then there's the reality of that, you know what, Sunday night, around finish line time, you were a rock star. You were incredible. You were the best you've ever been. You came across that finish line, arms raised. You were Mick Jagger. You were Bono. You were Jimi Hendrix, all wrapped up into one, and you rocked the stage. People cheered for you, screamed your name, and it was awesome. And you came off that stage, and now you're back to real life. You have real life. You have kids. You have work. You have deadlines. But all of those things are without your usual guide, your training plan, and with your next opportunity to be a rock star, still quite a few months off. So this is why we get the blues. And I'm not reading all this to make you depressed. I still think you're a rock star, just so you know that. And if you go on Facebook, you still are a rock star. But these are some of the things that happen. So you take some of those things away, and you don't replace them right away. And so in my experience, I wanted to talk a little bit about some of the things that I've seen or recommended how to fight post-race blues. And they're simple things. Number one, you relish, relive, and retell to everyone and anyone that will listen to you. You earned it. And put it in perspective. Is there another race in your future? You start to go from, oh my God, I can't believe I did that, to, oh, I could do this better, or maybe I should do this, or, have you ever raced in Europe, or, these types of things. Think about what the opportunities are that this type of training and racing has opened up to you. I had a great conversation with somebody the day after who's big on bucket lists, and the conversation was less about, I want to do another Ironman. It was like the reality that if you put your mind to it, you could do anything. Like you could say, hey, I want to do a kayak race around Antarctica. The thought process, it's not so outlandish anymore. You look at it from more of a standpoint of, well, wait a minute, an Ironman was a crazy idea, but I put a plan together, I did what I needed to do, and I got ready for it, and I did it. So maybe I could do those other things. Maybe I could do the Iditarod. All right, that might be a little crazy, but the idea being maybe not just relish the finish line, but also relish what you were able to accomplish, and start to think of things in those ways, and relive and retell those stories over and over again. My other one is eat, drink, and be merry until Thursday. So you got to the finish line, you ate whatever you wanted, and you've kind of slothed your way through the week, and I get it, it's so great and it's so nice not to have that schedule, but also just remember that all of the great habits that you have put in place, so you've put in great habits for yourselves, little things like eating well, and little things like getting up on time or finishing certain projects and exercising. Don't forget that it's not that you've broken bad habits, you've actually created a lot of good habits. But good habits can be broken just as easily as bad ones. And if you really let it slide for a long time and you just don't do it and you neglect it for a long time, you will break those good habits and have to rebuild them, and it takes time and it makes it hard. So, I'm kind of joking about until Thursday, but the truth of the matter is you don't want to let things slide for too long. Be good to yourself. Take care of yourself. Having a few drinks and a few, bad meals is okay. You don't have to be too strict with yourself, but keep in mind that you want to keep those good habits in place, especially now, post-race. And then do something else. I love this little quote here, the most annoying are those people in exceptionally good shape at the gym. I'm like, what are you doing here? You're done. You can be that person. You can be that guy that walks into the gym and is super fit and starts training. So when I say do something else today, I'm a big fan of this, and I think it's important that you say, for the next 6 weeks, I want to try something new. As I said before, like, you've proven that you're capable of doing just about anything you want to. What you need to do now is you need to do something totally different than swim, bike, and run. And it doesn't mean you can't do swim, bike, and run. You should do those things too. If you really love them, do them. But, I'd love to see you do something else, something like, CrossFit I put in there because a lot of people do CrossFit. I'm not a huge fan. But if you want to do something strength training, do yoga, do skiing, golf, cooking, do something else that, can occupy your mind and give you a challenge. Just from a pure fitness standpoint, strength training after a season of Ironman type training is really important and can be great for you, and your body absorbs it really quickly. But getting into something else and putting it on your calendar, even if it's like yoga 2 times a week for the next 6 weeks, it gives you back to that sense of a plan. It takes you back to that sense of accomplishing a goal, and it's a short-term goal. And it gives you a chance to really move forward, and get over the hump of, okay, I did my Ironman and I'm done. So give yourself the chance to immerse in something, give yourself a deadline, and just that little touch of self-discipline to kind of keep you on your toes a little bit. That's probably the best piece of advice I've ever gotten, or been able to pass on to people as a coach. In your in the long-term view, as you start to move forward and you start to think about what you've accomplished, your 6 weeks of yoga or CrossFit have given you things to think about. You start to think about your race, as being over. The season is over. This was an awesome season. It's over. It's okay to be over. Just like anything, it's like a relationship. It's over. It was wonderful, except the wonderful parts of it. But then, start to think about, perhaps, I don't know, maybe doing it again. As I try to mesmerize you with my little streaming words here. Smile Train is going to be back. Smile Train, was something that, the team and the people, it was a pretty awesome group, and you were part of something great, something you should be really proud of. And I was thrilled to see the way the team came together this year at the race site. It was just an awesome thing. The ambassadors and the little groups and the way you guys got to talk to each other on Facebook. It makes the event and it makes it that much more exciting to have that group to go to and to get back to. And, having a core group of people, I think that we already do have that are alumni coming back is awesome. So, give it a shot if you're interested in doing an Ironman with Smile Train again. It's definitely something to think about for your future. And, of course, I always have to say that type of thing. But don't rule out an Ironman if it's something you think you can do better at, or it's something you want to learn from. It kind of gets you, and you get the bug. But that's kind of it. It's not a complicated thing. It's something that you want to kind of take forward with you and be proud of, and give yourself a plan moving forward. So that's it. Like I said, short and sweet today, a quick webinar just to kind of wrap things up, send you guys on your way, and one more chance to say congratulations and obviously thank you, which I think is the most important thing. Congratulations on an incredible race, an incredible accomplishment physically for you, and thank you for all the efforts that you guys did for Smile Train and for these guys in this picture right here. It's pretty awesome stuff. So that is it for now. If you guys have questions moving forward or you need to reach out to the staff, you guys know how to reach us. But for now, enjoy, revel in it, relish it, tell your stories, and write that race report. All right. So we'll see you guys. We'll see you guys soon, I hope. That's all.
Awesome. Thank you, Earl. Does anyone have any questions now before we wrap this up? If not, you have our email addresses and you can continue to post on Facebook, and we'll reach out to you there. Nobody. All right. Well, thank you, Earl, for doing this webinar, and thank you guys to all of you guys. We'll continue to be in touch. We love seeing the pictures, as Earl said, on Facebook. So continue to post, continue to keep us updated, and we hope to have you all back on the team as alumni, so you can not only come back to mentor other participants for the next year too. So let us know if you guys have any questions, and if not, we will wrap this up. All right, doesn't look like any. So thank you guys. I'll go ahead and end this. This will be on Facebook to post, Facebook and our YouTube link as well. And we will talk to you all soon.
Bye, guys.